Your white belt gave you the map, 22 verified positions. Yellow belt teaches you to move between them with certainty. Here is the difference between guessing and knowing. White belt builds the blueprint of your combative space. You learn 22 guarding positions with verifiable checkpoints, fist aligned with temple, elbow at 45 degrees, wrist straight. That blueprint is static. Yellow belt transitions you from spatial placement to spatial movement. You stop learning where to put your hands and start learning how to move them. This is the critical shift. A building's value comes from moving through its halls, not just knowing the floor plan. Your combative skills work the same way. The positions you memorized become functional only when you can transition between them under pressure. Yellow belt gives you that function through our ongoing weekly video expansion on school. Calm. Approximation erodes your confidence. When you learn a guard as hand by your head, you create a fuzzy mental model. You don't know the exact coordinates. That creates justifiable insecurity. Under stress, that insecurity amplifies. Your guard drifts lower. Your steps become shorter. The technique degrades because its foundation was never solid. White Lotus BSD protocols eliminate this by giving you verifiable checkpoints. You learn the exact alignment of your fist relative to your temple. You feel the correct tension in your muscles. You test the structure by having someone probe it. You know with certainty when you are correct and when you are not. That creates justifiable security, confidence rooted in mechanical fact, not bravado. White belt gave you the verified dots. Yellow belt teaches you to draw the verified lines between them. Consider the transition from vertical up guard to horizontal guard. The approximate method uses a vague, arcing swing. The White Lotus method uses a specific parabolic path governed by an 8-step universal protocol. You have a verifiable start, a verifiable path, and a verifiable end. This replaces guesswork with geometry. You stop hoping your hand moves to the right place. You execute a known pathway to a known destination. Your mental state transforms. Anxiety about doing it right becomes focus on executing the known protocol. Cognitive load drops because you recall and deploy, not improvise. Compare the life cycle of an approximate technique to a White Lotus mechanic. With approximation, vague instructions create a fuzzy mental model. Each repetition varies slightly because you have no clear benchmarks. Under stress, that fuzzy model disintegrates. The technique becomes unrecognizable. Failure feels inevitable, reinforcing insecurity. With a White Lotus mechanic, you learn precise, multi-angle video protocols. Each repetition has verifiable checkpoints, tension, alignment, timing. Consistency builds neural pathways. Under stress, the clear model has higher probability of correct execution. Even if degraded, it degrades from a known point of excellence, not from a fog of approximation. Your confidence becomes rooted in thousands of verifiably correct repetitions. Yellow belt introduces striking as the second core fighting skill. You apply the same philosophy of verifiable checkpoints. Your striking position modules are not about making a fist somewhere out there. They define exact spatial placement of specific weapon surfaces relative to your target. You learn the precise distance, angle, and alignment for each strike. You verify these in a mirror. You feel them in your proprioception. You test them against a pad. This eliminates guesswork from your offense. When you throw a strike, you know the exact path it will travel and the exact point of impact. Your training becomes a series of known protocols, not hopeful approximations. That is the foundation of reliable skill. The purpose of all this precision is application under stress. You do not train for the dojo. You train for the moment when someone attacks you. In that moment, your brain will not have time to think. It will recall the most deeply ingrained pattern. If you trained with approximation, it will recall a fuzzy, unreliable pattern. If you trained with verifiable checkpoints, it will recall a clear, repeatable protocol. Yellow belt bridges the gap between knowing and doing. You learn to move with certainty between positions. You learn to strike with precision. You build a skill that holds up when your heart rate spikes and your vision narrows. That is the goal of every rep you take. Your yellow belt work turns your blueprint into motion. Each video on school. Calm gives you another verified line to draw. Execute them with precision, and your confidence will follow.